Hello everyone. Want to welcome everybody to Grandma Nana Stitches here on flosstube. This is my second flosstube video and it is Tuesday, January 24th, 2023. I want to first of all welcome all the subscribers and all the viewers. I really enjoyed doing the video last time, and it was such a heartwarming experience to have all the comments and the subscribers. So I want to make sure that I thank everybody for that. Those of you that were here last time know that I was working on this room, and it is almost probably 95% complete. The closet is still an issue. I did buy a curtain to hang up there and to cover the mess that's in there, but first I want to get it into an organized mess so that I can find things. I keep in there things that I don't use every day, mostly batting for my quilts and for project bags and all of that stuff. Sorry, I had another stink bug crawling up here. Does anybody else have trouble with stink bugs? Last year was a terrible year for them. They were everywhere flying around. This year, not so bad. I have one once in a while. And of course, it had to be this morning while I'm doing flosstube. So I'll get right to my progress. I did do some stitching. I have 2 new starts, and I have my whip that I've been focusing on for that. I did do some more crocheting, got quite a bit done on my rainbow afghan that I showed last time. I did not bring it back today, but I got about 6 inches done on it. I'm working on a green right now, so I have a few more rows of that to do, and then I have 2 more colors, and that'll be it. The dog, my puppy, who's down here on the floor beside me, is decided that she loves the blanket. Every time I put it on top of my tote that has all the different colors in it, she pulls it down and lays on it. So I'm not quite sure how that's going to work out. It wasn't intended for her, but as you all know, when you have a senior dog and you live alone and that's the only companion that you have during most days, it's important what they want and what they need. She's very pampered, and I love her dearly. But right now she's calm, so I will leave her where she is. She's suffering from some skin issues and has an appointment with the vets tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. So the whip that I've been working on is Elephants on Parade. This is going to be a birth announcement, and I have started getting the name ready to go on here, charting it. And this is where I am. I finished all of the flags up top. I have 2 little doodads that go between the little space there between the 5 flags. And in that open flag will be going her date of birth and how much she weighed. And underneath the elephants is where her name is going. Now she has kind of a long name, so I'm hoping it'll all fit in there. Got to get it charted so I know how little I have to make it for that flag up there. It's actually got quite a bit of room. It's not showing here, but if I bring it close, you can see it does have quite a bit of room. So, yeah, I'm very pleased with how it's turning out. I have 1 more elephant to fill in and a leg on one. And then there's a few more doodads up on top of the elephants. So this will probably be my main stitch. I'm trying to get it done by the end of the month. This is by Liz Matthews. Hello, this is Liz Matthews. Yeah, hello from, it's called Elephants on Parade. I should have showed this first. I'm stitching it on 32 count cashew linen. And it's in a, I don't know the real name of it, but it's kind of it's got a pink hue to it. So I think if I had a steady day, which probably won't be till Thursday, I could probably pretty much get this out. So I think tonight I'll work on finishing charting it so that I can be done with that one. And then I just have to get a frame, and I think Amy, my daughter Amy, will help me frame it. Now, for my birthday, I was given a chart by Amy, my oldest daughter. She's Mimi here on flosstube. This is the chart she gave me. We weren't able to get together on my birthday due to a few family things, and anybody that follows her knows her husband had a battle with kidney stones, and then there were kids sick, and I really wanted to have everybody together. So and it's on New Year's Eve, so it's not a night you really want to go out. But anyway, when she brought this into me that day, I just kind of chuckled, and she said, "Oh no, you already bought it." And I said, "No, actually I hadn't. I've been thinking about it. It's in my cart, and I just haven't pulled the trigger on it." So she presented it. It was all kitted up with the NPI silks. I just had to add the DMCs, and this is how far I've gotten. It's a real easy stitch, and it's a real easy stitch for me with the way my eyes sometimes work. It's on Ada, so there's no over 2 counting, and I can do this when my eyes are not in the best shape. So I'm very pleased with that, anxious to keep going on it. That's usually my later night stitching when I can't work on the elephants. And it all depends on the day. For those of you that were here last time, I think I told you that I was recently diagnosed with myasthenia gravis ocular, and it does create some double vision, some blurred vision, and some jumpiness of the eyes. I am on medication to control it, and that's been working pretty good, but I do have some days where not so much. So the last one is also a new start, and it's that Santa on Parade. It's a Mirabilia, and I just love it. But it has a lot of Krynic in it, which I bought Diamant instead of the Krynic. It has a lot of different colors in it. Right now I'm working with the white. It's beautiful. When you stitch it up, it doesn't look like it has a little sparkle to it, but it does when you stitch it up. I did have, didn't get very far when it called for the metallic thread, so I was trying to use, I stitched mainly with a 28 needle, and that didn't work with this particular project. The Diamant needs a larger eyed needle so it doesn't tear it apart. These are the colors. All of the colors are kind of a mess right now, but yeah, and I'm doing it on a light blue fabric. it was the called for, so let me see what that was. Twilight blue linen. This is on 16 count, which is what the equivalent would have been to the 32. And this I have on my Lowry stand, and I keep that on there right by my stitching chair, so I know. The Krynic goes right in here, or the Diamant right in here. I don't know if you can see it because it's white. It does show up on in hand when I'm stitching on it, but not so much when you're on camera. But it is really a beautiful stitch. And I think changing the needle out, which I now have, will be better. It was an excuse to go to Hobby House Needleworks. That's my local L&S, and it's a beautiful store. They just opened a wool store next door, and oh my God, I went in there, and the punch needle and all the wools, oh, I'm sorry, I hit that. All the wools and everything were absolutely beautiful. I almost got caught up in the punch needle. They will sit you down and teach you everything you need to know before you leave the store, and that's free of charge. So I'll have to go back when I have more time and maybe check that out. It didn't seem too hard. Seemed like something I could do maybe when my eyes weren't the best, but we'll see. So, but I was looking at the wools because I've gotten so that I like the felted wool to finish off some of my projects. And I have some strawberries to finish. I think I've showed you those in video 1, but if I didn't, let me know and I'll show them next time. So that's all the stitching that I've been doing. The other thing I've been doing is I've gone through almost all of my kitted projects, trying to decide if I want to stitch them. If I don't want to stitch them anymore, I need to de-kit them. I have a lot of floss, but I have a lot of floss kitted up that I could be using for other things. So I pulled out 2, 3, actually 4, no 5, I'm sorry, 5 things that I really want to get started, and I thought I would show them to you now, and then when I've made plans to start them, then I will, put them in my rotation. But the first one is Mary Amelia's Bird. When I went to Stitch North last year, everybody was, well, not everybody, but almost everybody was stitching this. Boy, the lighting's not too good here today. Let's see if I can move this. Hold, please. It's a very dark, dreary day. This is my 4th time trying to record this. The other day it was kind of sunny and everything came through pretty good. But yeah, that's Mary Amelia's Bird. And I had them kitted up with Leo and Roxy floss while I was at Stitch North. That retreat is put on by Carolyn of Off the Grid Needle Arts. And she's partnered with Carrie from Leo and Roxy Floss. And so while I was there, her helper, Hannah, kitted this all up for me. All the flosses, anyway, with their conversion of them. So it's all Leo and Roxy floss. And then it also gives you a little, they have pre-printed sheets that show you exactly what it is you need. So, I'm getting anxious to start that. Also, while I was there, they had a piece of fabric that was, I fell in love with it, and they were selling the whole piece because it was nothing that they could reproduce. It was kind of a mistake, they said. So, but I fell in love with it. It's a big piece. It's 36 by 54. And you can see the modeling in it. It is absolutely beautiful. And this is 28 count cashel linen. So I figured I could do Mary Amelia's bird on here. I think all the flosses will show up nicely. Can't really get it. I love this red. So they're absolutely beautiful. Chalkboard. Phthalo red. Lucille. Coho. And the rest are pretty much, oh, this is a beautiful blue. That's called Royal. And then the neutrals, the greens, the browns. Another shade of a darker blue, which is Planetarium. So yeah, I think this will be a fun stitch. I just have to cut the fabric, and I would insert it, and I'd be ready to go on that. There's quite a few projects I want to stitch on that. So, yeah. So that's the first one. This is a neat project bag. It was made by my niece for me. And I'll show you inside here. This has got a divider in it. So here's the divider right here. And in the divider are all kinds of pockets. I have something in that one. I'm not sure what it is, but figure it out later. But anyway, that's, she made that for me, and it's got a nice handle on it. And I just love the fabric. And I think we got the fabric at Walmart, actually, when we were down in Florida. But I love that bag. I'd like to have her make me a couple more of those, although I probably could do it myself. Okay, this next one is called My Family Tree. It is by Willow Hill Samplings, and it's a biggie. It is, oh, this piece of this doesn't tell me. Well, a 28 count, which is what that fabric is, would be 26 by 15 3/4 inches. Oh, it's 365 by 221. And it is gorgeous. And what it is a family tree. It's got a lot of different places to put names and dates of birth and everything in here. And I was strong into genealogy, although I've slid off of that. But I have a niece that's a different niece that has been working on it and has more information. So we're going to put information together when I get this done so that I can stitch that. You know, it's a big stitch, but I honestly don't know if other than the grass at the bottom and the border maybe, it shouldn't be too hard to stitch. So I'm looking forward to getting that started. I think I'll probably put anything I really want to start on a wheel and just spin because it's hard to pick. This one I have not kitted up. It's Cinnamon Stars. This at, I think it was at Stitch North, our table mates all decided to, no, at StitchCon. They all, excuse me. They all decided they were going to stitch this and finish it at StitchCon. Well, I didn't get into StitchCon yet, but I'm thinking I should start this just in case we do get there. I do get there. My daughter got in, and there's a couple of others that were on the table did not get in. I set my alarm, so it was during the day at noon it was opening up, and I set my alarm. But as I do sometimes, I fell asleep and didn't wake up till 1 o'clock. So I think I'm 148 on the list. I'm not sure how far down they've gotten. I know probably coming closer to the date will be when more people really start thinking about whether they're going to make it or not. But I am going to kit this up and get it all ready to get started here soon. This will probably be my next start just so I have it going in case miracles happen and I get in. You know, that's all you can hope for. All you can hope for. So this is a unicorn chart. I had seen this, another floss tuber did this. I looked high and low for the chart. I could not find it anywhere. And I found out it was out of print. So I put a note out on one of the FaceTube pages that I was looking for this chart. If anybody had it, I'd be willing to purchase it from them if they wanted to let it go. Well, a nice lady by the name of Jessie contacted me and wanted to send it to me, and I said I'd love to pay the postage, I'd love to pay for it. No, I'm just going to stitch it, send it to you, and when you're done stitching it, you pass it on. Well, I've had it now between selling a house and a move and being in Florida for 6 months a couple of years ago. I have not got this started, and I really need to do that. So I'm not sure what the called for 28 count. 28 count or 32. I have 25 count. White Jobelin. That I think I'm going to dye with a little bit of gray. Just a light modeling on it I would like. This is a huge piece. Just before I sold my house, there was an estate sale where I lived, and this woman had tons and tons of cross stitch. So this piece is huge. It's pure white, but I do like the colors against the blue. I'm going to use Sulkies. That's what it called for. So that is just beautiful. Blue seems to be my passion of late. I bought a project bag to go with it. I got this from the 805 Stitcher. And it's just beautiful. And then I did purchase a needle minder to go with it. So I'd like to start that sooner rather than later, but I say that about all of them, and I don't know how many, unless I just have a day to start everything and hope for the best. I'm not quite sure about that. But anyway, that's the way it goes, as with all of us. So that brings us up to haul. Oh no, I have one more, I'm sorry. This one here is Mirabilia. And it was a kit. The beads and all the flosses are with it. I should take that out. So it's called Miss New Year's Fairy, and I guess you can understand why I might want to do this one. It's done on raw linen. I'm not sure I'm going to use that. While I was at Stitch... I wanted to say Stitch North, but no, it was Steel City Stitchers retreat that I went to last year. They had a beautiful piece of a turquoise modeled fabric that I just fell in love with. Didn't know what I was going to do with it, but I bought the whole piece because I liked it so much. And I might see how the colors work on that. I'm not quite sure. She's pretty light, so I think she might work. It has 2 things of Krynic. Black and gold. And it came with all the beads. There's 3 packets of beads and all the flosses. Here we go, a lot of blues. I had intended to start this on my birthday, but I didn't get to it that day. So, this is the only color that might not show up really well on that fabric. I'll have to check it out. But yeah, it's not a very big one, so I don't think it'll be that long. So the only thing, I wish these were pattern keeper friendly. This was copyrighted in 2007. I have an angel by her done through Lavender and Lace that it actually was a chart that belonged to my late sister, and there were 2 of them. I gave one of them, well actually I gave both of them to my niece, her oldest daughter, and she gave me back one of them. So I would like to get that started, although I do find when it's not in Pattern Keeper, I have to be careful when I stitch, because part of the problem that I have is that, especially on a paper chart, it kind of separates. So I it might count 4 stitches when there's only 2. So I have to be really cognitive of that. which makes it a challenge, but I'm not going to give up my stitching, so I work with it. This I just found yesterday, I think, in my stuff of really old stuff. This was a pandemic-free pattern, so I guess I can just flash it up here on the screen. It says, home is our safe haven. And I had gotten that much done on it, which is pretty much, I have a tree to do over here and a couple of birds, 3 birds, and then the bottom, grass, and then the safe haven across the bottom. So I got this out because it's on Ada. It's on a chalkboard white. Looks like, I don't think it's 14. Could be 16 count. And I should finish this and at least make it into a pillow for my, I have 2 tiered trays and a trough dish that I could use a lot of things to fill in. So that's in one of my great project bags. So haul, I finished up and bought all the rest of these in Year in the Woods. I'd started the raccoon. Is it the raccoon? No, the fox. And the rest of them are in that project bag. And I love the owl. My daughter, Amy, Mimi Stitches, she stitches this with a friend of hers, and they do every Sunday, they work on it together, and now they're doing the reindeer right now. She may have finished that, and then they're going on to the bear. So I may start stitching with them and tackle the bear. So I really like these. I'm not sure how I'm gonna mount them or whatever, but another thing that this is an old haul. This I couldn't resist. It says, God grant me the ability to stitch the stash I have, to have the stash I want, and the time to stitch it all. That just spoke to me, so I purchased that. It came with the flosses. This is another one kind of same on that same thing. I think I have it all kitted up, ready to go. It says, accept what is, let go of what was, have faith in what will be. So I kitted it up with a little bit of sparkly fabric. So this is a pattern that I bought for one of those portfolios, project bags. So I think I'm going to try to make some of these. I kind of like the fact that they lay it flatter. And I have a lot of fabric. Yeah, I mean, a lot of fabric. So I'm hoping that I can get that stitched. I'm not sure how long I've had this one. This is by Stony Creek. Should have got this out of the bag. This will go in my Christmas box, so when I want to pull out a project, I can do that. This is the Stony Creek, and this is the 4th out of 4. So there is 4 of them, as you can see up here. I'd like to get all of them. I haven't really looked for them, but it came all kitted up. So, yeah, I have a needle minder in there. That was from Volcano Stitcher. So I think that, I don't know what this fabric, I don't think that, it's kind of a band fabric in there. So I apologize for the lighting. I guess I need to bring another light in here for dreary days. But I have a box. I don't know if I mentioned it last time. I had decided that I'm going to do an ornament, hopefully for next year, for each one of my grandchildren. My great and my great grands. So what I've been doing is throwing things in here. This is Lizzie Kate. I have a cross stitch ornament book from Just Cross Stitch for 2020. This is for my dough bowl. And it's just been, you know, as I think of things and get ideas, it's not all cross stitching because I've had ideas for some other things that I would like to do them for Christmas next year that I keep throwing in this Merry Christmas box that I've had forever. So, this I got from the Pringle Jingle Ball. I just love this pattern. So I went up to Hobby House that day and I had them kitted up for me. They didn't have all the flosses, but I got what they did have, which I think I was only missing one, and the raw linen. I believe this is 28 count. I usually try to stay away from 32 count on a darker fabric. And it also, I got the finishing kit with it, which has everything in it. The charm, the pom-pom trim, and the felt. So that's another one of my Christmas things. I got some needles. And, you know, as a sewer, you'd think I would have had many needle threaders. I do not. So I got a couple of needle threaders. And while I was there, I got all the rest of the flosses for Beauty and the Beast. I probably won't put these on floss drops till I use them. But the colors are gorgeous. I just love that. That's another one I want to start. Do you hear a theme coming in here? Going to end up starting them all. And the last thing I got was from Lizzie Kate. I fell in love with these sled ornaments. And I can't remember who it was. They used alphabet beads and put their grandchild's name around one of the rungs so that their names were on them. These are done on perforated paper, which I've never done before, so that'll be an experience. But if I don't like it, or I don't want to stitch it on there, I did get some 18 count vintage country mocha to stitch them on, just in case. The last thing I purchased, this haul goes back quite a ways, but I did purchase new double pointed knitting needles. I want to make some socks, so I got some new ones this time to start them on. And then I got 2 project bags. The first one is this one. I got these from PT Bags. She was running a sale. They're very well made. And they are beautiful. And I love this one. Love, love, love. Nicely centered on here. I mean, she did an excellent job. And the inside is smaller print. So it is just beautiful. I love project bags. I really need to set aside a couple of days and make my own. So that brings us to plans. My plans are always fluid. I'm home a lot. I don't go too many places, and I'm a homebody, so do have a lot of time to stitch. I am still sorting through, believe it or not, old bins that were in the storage unit, trying to figure out what to keep and what to get rid of. So that's in my future, and that'll take time away from stitching. But right now, through the end of the month and through to the 3rd of February, other than having doctor's appointments tomorrow, I am free and clear to stitch. So my plan is to finish the elephants, to get that done and out of the way. And then I want to continue to work on the Santa. I've decided to work on them Saturday and Sunday. Santa Saturday and Santa Sunday. Be my main stitch of the day. I'll still work on my project first thing in the morning, but when I sit down to stitch, usually around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, that'll be my primary stitch that day. Want to continue to work on burring me, but I usually do that in the morning with cardinal or elephants. So, and then I've decided that I needed to pull out an old whip and start stitching on it to decide if I want to keep it or if I'm done with it. They were all of them are patterns that I purchased when I first came back to stitching in 2017-ish, 18, something like that. So they're not necessarily my style anymore. We evolve in our what we think. I remember Amy and I were talking when we first went back to stitching, and she said, I don't know what the hype is about all these samplers. She said, I won't ever stitch a sampler. And I said too, it just doesn't appeal to me. Well, that's pretty much what I want to stitch. And her too. She's done a beautiful one by Jacob at Modern Folk Embroidery. I can't remember. Bowl of Plenty or something like that. She finished that last year. And oh my God, that is beautiful. And it is a big, big one. But she pushed through it and finished it. So she likes to do a lot of full coverage pieces. I'm still out on the fence about full coverage. When I was stitching back in the 2017, it did appeal to me, and I had started the Cardinals back then, and I think there was another one that I ditched. But Pattern Keeper certainly has made it possible for me to stitch more things. So the Cardinals is back out, and I'm going to pull out So She Could by, I think it's That Quarter Shop. So Emma is the design name, but it's So She Could, and I wanted to hang that up in here. It's a good thing to remind yourself of, that when you think you can't, you can. You just need to find your way around the obstacles that are in your way. That's been something that has been hard for me to do, but I have succeeded. And other than a short time of saying I can't stitch, I decided there had to be a way. So, which pushed me to go to the doctors, which pushed me to have testing done and with the diagnosis. So, as long as, I can take medicine up to 4 times a day, which controls a lot of the twitching in the eye and the vision aspect of it, but it does not do anything for the droopiness of the eyelids, which is a big symptom of this disease. So, I had noticed my eyelids were drooping, just assumed it was because I was getting old. But not so. So the moral, or the thing that I would like to leave you with today, is that when you think you can't, you can. It may not look like what you thought it was going to look like, or it may not be exactly what you wanted, but it's pretty darn close, and you can adjust your sails and move forward. Thank you very much for tuning in to me today. I hope to be back within a week. We'll see how that goes. But if not, know that it's just life getting in the way, and I will be back in 2 weeks. Thank you very much. I appreciate all comments, everything that you've said, and take it to heart. It fills my heart. Have a great day.